Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Rant. Got a video today from the Modern King. Chief committed paternity fraud and instantly regretted it. Please like, share, them below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time. Me watching him love the baby I had with someone else like it's his. Why the fuck are you making TikTok videos like this? You don't think he will ever see this or something? Or someone in his vicinity would see this?
The fact that she felt comfortable posting that on social media shows the state of our society. Paternity fraud should be treated like a real crime, rather than an accidental mistake on the mother's end.
Sitting out here struggling to get this in my car. Men are walking back and forth. No one is trying to help me. They don't make real men anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not all men, because there are good men out there. As a woman, like, you don't see men holding doors anymore. They don't help anymore. They rush and sit down on trains and buses before women and pregnant women and elderly are sitting down. It's just a hot mess out here.
Men are not obligated to do anything for you or help you. That was a privilege you had and lost when you
You gave it up, not you lost. Women gave it up.
Decided you wanted to be treated like a man. But what you really meant is you want the authority of a man, the accountability of a child, and to be treated like a woman. You don't want real equality. You want the best of all worlds with no downside.
Yep.
I want to speak to the women out there. You tell me if you think this is fair. I'm 40 years old. I married this woman when I was 33. After only knowing her 7 months. And no, I ain't get no prenup or none of that. But she didn't have nothing. Me, I had a $1.5 million house in Hoover, Alabama.
1.5 in Alabama? That is a huge house.
I had the Mercedes in the driveway. I went to law school. I was the one up studying all them late nights. Didn't even know who this woman was back then. Right? Now, you mean to tell me it took me 40 years to make all this? And this person who I've only known for 7 years, won't have of everything.
It's not fair, but since it's a man that has to deal with it, it's not a problem, and nobody cares. I guarantee, if the courts treated women like they treat men, all we would hear is how unfair and sexist the court system is. But since it's men that are the ones that get treated unfairly, it's not seen as a problem or a big deal, and they should just man up and deal with it.
I personally hate it when people are like, oh, men's mental health. Oh, men are afraid of being emotional. Because it's not that men are afraid of being emotional.
So what is it they're afraid of then?
They're afraid of being a woman.
Yeah,
What?
I don't think that's quite it.
Men are afraid of showing their emotions because they're socialized not to show emotions in public, which is true. But I don't think they're afraid of showing emotions.
And why is that?
Because men show emotions all the time.
Can we have some examples?
They're more likely to express their anger and lash out. Like, those are extreme emotions. So it's not that they're afraid of expressing emotions. It's that as a society,
All you ever see is just the extreme emotions from men. You never see any other type of emotions, that they're sad, that they're happy and stuff.
we have labeled certain emotions as feminine. So emotions such as sadness, like tears, or love, like caring for others, those are considered to be feminine traits. And those are the emotions that men reject.
I don't believe it's rejection of those type of emotions. It's more like men oftentimes know the proper time and place to express such emotions, which
Correct.
is usually in private.
Because they don't want to be feminine, because the worst thing they can be is a woman.
It has nothing to do with being perceived as being feminine. It does, however, have everything to do with being perceived as showing weakness, which has nothing to do with being feminine, unless, of course, one is trying to equate femininity with weakness.
So when people are like, we should teach men to be more vulnerable, we should let them be more emotional. No, we should teach them to stop hating women. It's all about that.
Talk about missing the mark.
What the fuck did all of a sudden become hating women? From jumping from the conclusion to hating women. What the fuck?
It's really not about men hating women, because in fact most men don't, and that's not the reason why most men choose not to express their emotions in public. It's because they have been taught to always be strong, so most men choose to express their emotions privately.
A woman's value that she adds to a man is something that you cannot even put a price on, baby. It is something that you cannot even look at the amount, because guess what? What we're doing is we're elevating you and we're growing you in a way that you could not even imagine. Why do you think that all the politicians are married? I built every single man up that I've ever been with, baby.
All right.
When they leave me, they're in a much better.
lying whore.
My question, so the very last man you was with, how long was that relationship?
3.5 years.
When you met him, was he a millionaire?
No.
When you left him, was he a millionaire?
No.
You ain't made nobody nothing. A lot of these women talk about what they could do for a man and how good they are. Y'all ain't made nobody nothing. A lot of y'all have an overinflated ego. You're not bringing nothing to the table but problems, attitude, and taint, tarnished, and zesty coochie. So check your attitude. No, check your attitude, because y'all are not all that.
They aren't. I do agree that there's some women out there that can build men up to be better men. But most women out there are there to tear men down.
Mike, watch out. Be careful, be careful.
Be careful about what?
Be careful. Stir. More. You're going to let it burn. Stir.
Stop it. I'm making sausage.
Put some more oil. You need a little bit of oil in
I know
there.
how to make sausage?
No, put some oil in there. A little bit of
I
oil.
already put some in there.
Put some oil in there.
I already did.
Put some oil in there. Too much. That's way too much.
I didn't even get anything
It's going to be greasy now. Way too much oil. Stir.
Okay,
Stir. You're going to burn.
I am stirring
You're going to burn. Some pepper in there. You need some pepper in there.
I do that later.
Put some pepper in there. Oh, it's too much pepper. Oh my God. Too much.
What are you Why are you in here?
Because you just need to listen. And why are you not stirring? You're going to mess it up.
Baby, you're making me nervous. Why are you doing this?
I don't know. Why don't you listen to me when you're cooking? You're gonna ruin the whole thing.
Because I'm cooking. Not you, me, I am. Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to know what it feels like when I'm driving.
Are you serious? Get out of here.
Oh, this one's going to ruffle some feathers, but I'm going to be completely honest.
So what I'd like to know, in this dating world for people like over 50, like, have men just kind of given up with the trying to date and the courting and all that?
The short and
Yeah, with other 50-year-olds, I'm sure.
sweet answer to your question is yes. Yes, they have. They've given up. They're done. They're walking away.
Is it so bad out there, like, that you guys have just given up?
Now, bad doesn't even begin to cover it. Toxic, we could start with that.
Because, like, everybody I talk to says they go out on a date, and if the guy's buying dinner, then by the end of the night, he's saying, well, like, if I buy dinner, then I expect to have sex.
And there it is. Everybody you talk to, my gut feeling is, and I think it's obvious, everybody means women. Not men, women. And you're making assumptions based on what women are telling other women men are thinking, instead of listening to men.
First of all, as if, motherfuckers, like, that ain't happening.
And there's that toxicity I mentioned earlier. As if. Your assumption is that that's what all men are thinking and wanting. That's not the reality, but that's what you're working from. That's the premise. So why would any man, a good man, ever put himself in that position when the first response you're going to have is as if? Are there cads out there, guys, who would do that? Sure there are, but they are few and far between. But that doesn't matter. What matters is you're going to apply that label to every single man. And then, of course, there's the other side of it. There's women who try and sleep with men on the first date, but we don't talk about them.
There's a lot of them. I met quite a few of them, you know, in my escapades after my divorce. I grew up in the 90s. I dated in the early 2000s. Sleeping on a woman on a first date was almost unheard of at the time, at least for me. After my divorce, almost every woman I dated wanted to sleep with me on the first date. I'm not saying I'm some Chad or anything, but women just became so much more promiscuous while I was married.
We label all men, but if you mention even one woman, it's but it's not us. It's not fair to label all of us like that. It's a huge double standard. And speaking of double standards.
Okay, now if you put on your profile, I am not interested in a relationship, and if I buy you dinner, I would like to have sex at the end of the evening. Hey, good on you.
Seriously, you actually think guys would do that? Some guys might. Not the guys you want, or is it? Because the guys that would do that, they're the ones with the six-figure incomes, the six-pack abs, the 6-inch you-know-what. And they do that because they can, because they know women will respond to that. The average decent guy, the ones you claim you want, the ones you reject out of hand because they don't fit the sixes, they're not going to post something like that because that's not their expectation.
Oh, I love puppies and picnics in the park, and then you take somebody to dinner and you pull that shit. Well, you know what? you're just a dumbass.
And there's the final clue for you. You assume that all guys are like that, so therefore all men are dumbasses. Why would any man want to date someone who thinks that way? That would be pure insanity on his part. It's why men are walking away. They're done, not just over 50, but at any age.
MGTOW's a real thing, guys. Even 50 Cent, celebrities that can get whatever woman they want are becoming MGTOW. Why? Because they know. They know the women out there are not worth it unless you maybe travel overseas. Please express them below. I really appreciate that.